What quote hangs on your wall? Welcome to Goal-Getting Quote of the Day. I'm Tony Woodall, your host, and I will share with you a great quote I've heard, read, or that's been shared by one of my guests on Goal-Getting Podcast weekly show, where I ask, what quote hangs on your wall? Thanks for listening, folks, and I really appreciate it. Hello, goal-getters, and welcome to Goal-Getting Quote of the Day. This is your host, Tony Woodall from Goal-Getting Podcast. I want to thank you for listening today. Today's quote is from our monthly Goal-Getting Quote Pack, as is the quote art on our show notes today at goalgettingpodcast.com/QOD-90. QOD-90. Yes, this is our 90th quote of the day today. Wow, I can't believe it's gone that far already. So we are really excited that you're here today. If you've been listening since we started, thank you so much. We did this as an experiment to see how it would work, and it has just blown up. I mean, we've just really gotten a lot of good feedback and a lot of people enjoying it, so we've continued it for now 90 days. So I do appreciate you listening. Today's quote, as I mentioned, is from our monthly quote pack that we do. If you're interested in getting quotes in your email, you can get a monthly subscription to the Goal-Getting Monthly Quote Pack, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can get these great quotes and images in your email each month later in the show. So stay around and find out. Today's quote is from Sir Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson, the founder, face, and voice of Virgin, is one of the most quoted businessmen today. I've used several of his quotes already in the 90 days that we've been on. And he has achieved so much as the head of the many business entities in the Virgin family. And he didn't do it by following rules, if you know him well enough. His quote is, "You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and falling over." And Richard Branson's quote here is one that most parents will understand. If you've had kids and watched them grow from birth to toddler to adolescent, tweens, and teens, you remember the lessons and rules that you gave them on learning how to walk. Wait, there were no lessons, and there were no rules. And I know because I raised two daughters. But first off, they couldn't have understood them if you did have them. But more importantly, that isn't how we learn at that age. When we're just getting started, we have to learn by doing. We stand by ourselves, we start to stand by ourselves, and then we fall over. We fall over, and we fall over. We hit our heads a few times as we pull ourselves up at the table. We struggle, and then we fall over. We learn. We try again, we learn, and then finally, when you least expect it, we let go of the table, and this time we walk. By ourselves. Sometimes falling, but getting back up again. Finally, we get the strength and skill built up in our legs, and we get the hang of it. We get our balance. And then we're off and running and roaming around doing things we didn't expect. We work so hard to learn, by doing, and by falling over. We didn't follow any rules. We didn't go by any business plan or lesson plan. We didn't, but we learned. Sometimes we plan, study, review again and again before we attempt to do what we want to do, and never do. Sometimes you just have to do and fall over a few times. One summer, Hatsumi Sensei, the Grand Master of the martial arts I studied, was in San Francisco for a seminar. He did a Q&A session, and one of the students asked him, "How should I teach ninjutsu to my little girl? She's only 2 years old, but I want to start training her now." Sensei looked at him and very matter-of-factly said, "You should be watching her, learning from her. Little children do what's natural. They move naturally." That taught me a lesson that I understand today. We need to be like children in many ways. I love to watch babies. They take in everything that is going on. They listen, they watch, they do. They copy and imitate what we do until they become good at it. They don't just watch and study us, they duplicate what we do until they can do it like us. Do you spend too much time watching, thinking, studying, researching things instead of doing? Do you get into analysis paralysis? I've heard it said that research is 90% procrastination. Learn by doing and falling over. Go out today and do something. If you fall over, get up and do it again. and again and again. Do it differently if you have to, but do it and learn. Do you have a quote that hangs on your wall that motivates or inspires you, and you want it to be mentioned on the show? Create the quote graphic with your quote and send it to me at tony@goalgettingpodcast.com. Sign up for our mailing list by joining the Goal Getter Nation, and I will put your quote on the show, give you a shout out, and put your quote art on our show notes page. Would you like to receive these Goal Getting Podcast monthly quote pack specials like the one that's on our show notes page today at goalgettingpodcast.com/90? You can get this awesome set of 20 images full of great quotes in your email each month by simply going to goalgettingpodcast.com/images today and signing up. And I'd like to thank you for listening to Goal Getting Quote of the Day. If you like this or any of the quotes, please go and leave a comment on our show notes page for that episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what we're doing on the show. Now, if you like our podcast, you can easily go subscribe to our show on iTunes by going to goalgettingpodcast.com/iTunes. It'll take you to our iTunes page where you can hit the subscribe button and then go in and leave a review and a rating. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you come back tomorrow and listen to the next Goal Getting Quote of the Day. This is your host, Tony Woodall. Go out and make today a great day.